All right, I hope you're ready to blow the roof off your next cookout. This recipe almost started a fight at my last one. Today I'm gonna show you how to make the best beans on the internet. This is my recipe for cowboy baked beans. Meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. All right folks, first things first, the prep work is the most important part of cooking. It's also the biggest pain. So go ahead and knock it out first, get everything prepped and ready, then you roll right into the recipe. Today we got bell pepper, I'm using red and green. We got their spicy cousin, the jalapeno. So we're gonna go ahead and get the peppers prepped, dice up an onion. You can leave the jalapeno out if you don't want this to be spicy, but there's quite a few sweet components in this, so the jalapeno, in my opinion, pairs beautifully with this recipe. For the onion prep, I like to leave the root intact. Make some slices in one direction like you see here, and then another slice right down the middle, and gives you a nice, relatively fine and even dice on your onion. Easiest way to do it. Nice sharp knife helps if you guys need a nice sharp knife. I know a guy that has one on sale on his website, mrmakeithappen.com. That's also where the new food blog has just launched. So all of these recipes that you see on YouTube, anything that I post on social media will be available there with a principal recipe and full directions. I'll still put the shopping list in the description box on YouTube so we can avoid the complainers. But for the rest of you guys, go ahead and check out the website for all the recipes. All right, onions diced. I'm gonna remove the seeds from the jalapeno because I'm kind of a punk and they're kind of spicy. So seeds being removed. Dice up the peppers the same size as the onions so everything cooks at about the same rate. All right guys, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and fry up the bacon. I wanna go ahead and let the bacon fat render. We're gonna use that as the foundation of flavor for the beans. That'll be what we'll cook our veggies in. So regular bacon, whatever you got. If you don't like pork, by all means, go ahead and use beef bacon or just skip this step altogether. But for the rest of us, we're gonna fry up a little pork bacon, let that fat render, and then remove it and we'll dice it up and add it back in later. All right, so next up, we're gonna add the ground beef. This is the staple when it comes to cowboy beans. If you ever heard that or seen the recipes online, ground beef is utilized. If you don't eat beef, you can use ground chicken or ground turkey for this. I recommend beef though, obviously. What we're gonna do is we're gonna smash it down right in that bacon fat and make sure that it's making good surface area contact with the skillet, because what we wanna achieve here is a nice crust. We want that Maillard reaction. That way we get some good caramelization, get some good flavor, texture, and color on our ground beef. All right, so while the beef is cooking, we're gonna go ahead and begin seasoning it. So I'm going down with some all-purpose seasoning. A little bit of barbecue rub. Shout out to Grilling with Dad for this barbecue seasoning. It's fantastic. Check him out. Whatever barbecue rub you like, we're going to add some of that. And then a little smoked paprika to play off the smokiness from the bacon and the barbecue seasoning. Next, once you see that it's starting to get some good crust, like you see right here, we're going to begin breaking it up. And then cook it until it's all the way cooked. Then we'll add in the veggies. The veggies will start to soak up some of this fat and flavor. If you need to drain any, you can. We're using 80-20 ground beef, so it is a little fattier. So you're welcome to drain some if you need to, but I would recommend draining it after you add the veggies because they will, absorb some of that. So once they get in a good spot, time to add in the veggies. Give that a good mix. Then once the veggies start to get tender, we'll go in with some garlic and then add in our beans. All right guys, next up we're gonna go ahead and add in the beans. We're using Busch's today, but if you got another brand out there, I don't know of one, but if they exist, give them a try. I like to also add some black beans to mine for the color and texture. So we're gonna add 1 can of black beans to the party as well. Give that a good mix. And then we'll start adding in our other ingredients and seasoning. You just let this cook. You can throw this on the smoker or the grill for about an hour. You can put it in the oven. You can do it right on the stove top. Bunch of ways you can do this. You can do it in a crock pot as well. Just really can't go wrong. This is a staple at the barbecue, particularly in the South. I believe they originated in Texas. I'm not quite sure. I think that's where the Cowboy Beans term came from. But if you haven't tried it, definitely give it a try. So going in with a little bit more AP. about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a half cup of your favorite barbecue sauce. So once the barbecue sauce is in there, we're going in with about 3/4 cup of ketchup, up to a full cup, you know, depending on the consistency and how much juice you left in the beans when you strained them. We're also going in with a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. It's going to add a little bit of bite. Then a tablespoon of yellow mustard and a tablespoon of garlic. I'm going to give that a mix. Hit it with a teaspoon or two of worst word in the world sauce. Give it a taste and adjust as needed. So the perfect blend here of sweet, savory, a little bit of spice from the jalapenos on the back end of the flavor profile. Just delicious stuff, guys. We're gonna add a little brown sugar here in just a second. That's gonna sweeten it up a bit as well. Give it a nice dark, rich color. You plate this up right beside the mac and cheese. You got something special in your hands. All right, guys, the beans have been rolling about 15-20 minutes. Time to add back in that bacon from earlier. Give that a good mix. Another 10 minutes or so. We'll go ahead and plate this up. A little chive garnish. And I'm telling you guys, this right here is easily a top 3 and arguably the best cookout side dish there is. Let me know in the comments what your favorite or top 3 cookout side dishes are. If you've never tried this, I'm telling you, it's gonna be in the rotation. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and plate this up in a large bowl, family style. We're gonna garnish it with some diced chives. This is the part where I say, brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. The only thing left to do is grab my spoon and dig it for the taste test. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, guys, we're doing cookout classics. Nothing more classic than a plastic spoon at the cookout. I don't know who wants to do all those dishes. This looks so good. You guys got to try this one, I'm telling you.
I'm trying to figure out what's better, the beans or the sweet potatoes.
The beans or the sweet potato? Oh, what? Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to know.
Cut. Yo. All right, guys, next up it's time to add the beans. I like to use buschs. And then about a half cup of ketchup. Preferably one that's open.